And previously, I had been watching videos about people who did like regular DMT, NN, and that's what I was under the impression I was going to be doing the next day. And so I went to the guy's house who does the trip, and he explained it all to me. And I was doing the 5-MeO DMT, which is the God particle, which is, to my understanding, I think it's the most powerful psychedelic on Earth. And so it was a really nice environment that he had set up with like pillows and a really nice space. And it was about 20-30 minutes we spent, we talked a little bit, and then we meditated, and then we stated all of our intentions, and then, there was music on, and then I laid back on some pillows as he prepared the smoke, and then I had my daughter with me, and she was holding space, and I took the hit, and I sat up to take the hit, and held it in, and like fell back onto the pillows, and it hits you within 5 seconds. And what happened to me was there was like this golden light that enveloped me entirely, and I started to raise up out of my body. And I remember thinking at the time that this is dying. I'm dying. I'm actually dying. And I felt like my heart stopped, and I fully embraced it. And I just wrote like, okay, I'm dying. And I rose up into it. And I don't have that much memory of what happened. I know I was out for about 20 minutes. All I remember is intense fractal light, legions of vibrant color, and an overwhelming feeling of love and oneness in a way that I'll describe a little bit in a bit, but not like the intellectual oneness you think of when you say like all is one. There's a certainty, but there's also a very firm realness to it. And it's not dreamy, and it's not ethereal, and it's not fanciful at all. And so I came out of it, and a lot happens when you come out of this. Like, it's not all like the big trip. Like, the moments when it's wearing off are intense, and there's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. And so I come out of it, I got extremely emotional. I started to weep. I looked up at my daughter, she was weeping. I was sweating. I was like, Mike, the guy who did it, said it was like guttural, almost like he was moaning. But I felt like it was incomplete. I was like, I felt like I had felt my daughter's presence, who passed away, but I didn't actually see her. But I felt her presence. I just felt this overwhelming love, and I just felt incomplete, and I wasn't done, and I needed to go back, and I needed urgently to go back. And so he prepared the second hit, and I talked to my daughter for a little bit, and then I did it the same way. Sat up, took the hit, held it, went back, and same thing. Within seconds, here we go. And again, it was like a golden light. It was like coming up, which I remember feeling a little bit of trepidation this time, like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this the second time. Maybe we did see enough process, but no, here we go. And so I don't remember that much. I think it was a lot more of the fractal light, but it had less color. And then this time, toward the tail end, it turned negative. It went like gray, and it went suddenly gray in a way that it felt like kind of terrifying and made me upset. And it was a visual kind of gray, like it was a vast emptiness, and it had like a surface to it. But there was this feeling of just absolute emptiness, nothingness, and I panicked. And I panicked, thinking, oh, you're saying there's nothing. And then as I came out of it again, and I returned, I did bring that back with me in a way that, like anything, anytime you experience something negative, it does tend to leave a stronger impression. So I felt that when I brought it back, and I had a lot of questions about it, but even so, it was eclipsed by my daughter who passed, Kira, talking to me, like talking through me, which I do in life, and I've started to do that since it happened. But it was, what Rudolf Steiner talks about in his books about in the spirit world, how souls travel through each other when they merge with each other, and like the way we get to know each other in real life. We say, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Adam. Your name's Pat." Then we get to know each other. It's the opposite there. Like we begin with getting to know each other, and then the rest happens. And that's exactly what it feels. That's exactly what it felt like. I mean, we were moving. Mostly, I was thinking about my daughters, and we moved through each other like air, like it was like spiritual air almost. And it was that certainty. And I tried to explain to my daughter and to the guide, as I was still in it, about how there really is no separation. Like it's the only way I can put it, man. It's like there's a certainty and there's a concreteness to this oneness. It's not weird. It's not fanciful. It's not fantastical in any way. At least, that's what I saw. And the information that I got was not from the toad. It was not from the DMT that I took. It was in me. So you might experience it in a completely different way. You will experience it in a completely different way. And I left, and I had a real tough time the next few hours trying to interpret what had happened to me. And my daughter went home, and I smoked a little. I thought a lot about it, and I kind of look at, I think that what it is this is what it feels like when you die. But the difference is that your soul is not involved. Your soul is intact. Your soul is still in you. So, that obviously is different when you die for real. So, neurologically, the plant, or DMT, tricks the brain into believing that this is real death. And so you experience the light and the fractal, things that you're a part of. And this beauty and this love. And then the gray negativity that I experienced, that I did not experience in the first hit, I only experienced in the second hit, which it makes me also think, parenthetically, that that was just my brain saying to me, "You've seen enough. Enough for one day, young man." Considering this is the first time I had ever done it. But it also seems like that could have been ego death. And a lot of people talk about experiencing ego death on this. And the ego death was, okay, you wanted to see it, this is what it looks like. I don't think you'd really see that when you die, because the brain is not the soul and the brain is not consciousness. I think this is your brain dying. And just like when you go to sleep and you dream and your brain dumps all the shit and the gunk from the day and filters it out subconsciously, I think when you die, your brain just dumps all of it. It expels everything at once. And I think I was looking at the inside of my brain. It was a complete void. And that in and of itself, it was like me witnessing the death of the ego, because your brain ain't coming with you, dog. And that was terrifying. So be ready to see that kind of thing. It shouldn't stop you from going into it, with pure relaxation and intent and surrender. Because even though you might see something at some point that'll be terrifying, and you might not, it's part of it, and it's not going to hurt you, and it's not bad, and it's not. Once you sit with it for a little bit, it starts to reveal itself in a way that it's like it's fine, but So yeah, I'm still sitting with it. I'm only 24 hours in, but it was very intense, and I don't think it's something I necessarily need to do again. I'm open. I might not. I might be open to trying other, like the more classical forms of DMT. But I'm glad I did it, and especially with everything that me and my family are going through right now. It gave me an understanding, and it gave me also a clarification of a lot. And you know, it's obviously doesn't stop you from needing to continue seeking in every way that you can.